The book after Ezra is Nehemiah, but it doesn't contribute anything to the story, is my opinion. While Ezra was the religious leader, Nehemiah was the political figure, and the book it just takes place parallel to Ezra. So I decided to leave it as it is and move on. And then we will get to know Esther, and once again be amazed over the resilience and determination that a woman had 2,500 years ago. So welcome to Leah's Bubble Babble. While Ezra and Nehemiah takes place in Jerusalem, we found Esther at the court of King Xerxes of Persia. King Xerxes is king over an enormous kingdom, from India in the west, in the east, to Kush in the west. Kush is the ancient word for Nubia in the south of Egypt. And both him and his ancestors built the kingdom not so much of fear and war, even they occurred of course, but most of trust and respect. And it even said in chapter 1, line 7 to 8, the drinks were served in different gold-plated chalices, and the wine flowed bountiful from the king. But no one was forced to drink. The king ordered the servants to adopt after each and everyone's wish. Now we will stumble upon a problem, and that is who was Xerxes' queen. In official records that is preserved, her name is Ametris, while in Esther, that name has changed to Vashti. We don't know if the name is the same woman the texts are talking about, or two different people, but for here on out, that will not be important. What will be important is that Vashti have a feast for only women at the same time that Xerxes had one for only the men. After 7 days of feasting, she is depicted as the royal party pooper when she refuses to heed king's order. It does not say why, only that the king gets angry and listens to his advisors. And he gets the advice to get rid of the old queen and look for a new one. And it is even written in line 22. He let out scripts of all his provinces, each and every one in their own language, with the message that every man should rule in their own home. Once again, a proof of Xerxes' leadership and respect he had towards undercultures and languages. And it is here that Esther comes into the story. So who is she? We get to know her a little bit better through the text. She's adopted by her own cousin. But what is really interesting is about her name, because in Hebrew her name is Hadassah, but in Babylonian it is Ishtar, and Ishtar is known as the Babylonian goddess of love. We know two things here. She is well grown and she is beautiful. So she gets the approval from Xerxes and starts a beauty treatment, including oils and diet. The oils were myrrh and balm and was applied for 6 months each. Myrrh is the koenigsegg of the ancient world. It was and still are extremely expensive and rare, and was a way of showing off that you had wealth and money. It comes from a tree, and it only produced in modern day Somalia and Yemen, just like thousands of years ago. In chapter 2, line 17, it says, "He came to love Esther higher than any other woman, and placed the royal crown on her head and made her queen." But no king without an advisor that has his own agenda. And just like King Theoden in Lord of the Ring had Grima Wormtongue, Xerxes had Haman. What Haman does will be described as gaslighting. He tries to convince Xerxes that the Jews didn't follow the rules and law of the kingdom and kept to themselves, among other things. And he wanted the king's blessing to annihilation of the Jews. And Xerxes buys it. Esther, who is a Jew herself, found this out. And you can read about it in chapter 4 and 5. Well, Haman thinks he's home free in the eyes of the king, but still have a burning hatred for the specific Jew, Queen Esther's adopted father. Yes, the guy was also her cousin. And his name was Mordecai. In chapter 5, line 14, it is described that Haman gives order of raising a 25-meter or 82 feet high pole for Mordecai's crucifixion. But Haman's pride gets in the way, and Xerxes finds out that his advisor wanted to let him taste his own medicine. And it ended up that the Jews were saved thanks to Esther. Mordecai gets to be an advisor to the king, and Haman gets to be crucified on his own pole. In chapter 8, line 11, it is stated that every Jew has the right to defend themselves. And in chapter 9, line 3, the Jews got supported by the support they needed from the officials that stood in service of the king. So what did Esther do? She is the one that instituted that it would later be known as the Feast of Purim, when it was stated that the Jews no longer was persecuted. And Purim is one of the most important celebrations within the Jewish community. So here is a question. Do you have an Esther in your life? Perhaps it's someone you look up to? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you hear and see, so please comment, subscribe, and give a little notification bell, of course, so I will see you next time. Bye.